As everyone can see, we're going to start with a pretty fun presentation with the Minnesota Zoo, whose infrastructure's needs we were able to view firsthand during the fall bonding tours. Welcome to the committee, Director Fallaway and Dr. Rivas. Please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Yes, committee chairs, committee members, John Frawley, Director of the Minnesota Zoo.
And I'm Annie Rivas. I'm the Director of Animal Health or Head Veterinarian at the Minnesota Zoo.
And I'd also like to introduce Jen and Alex, who are Ambassador Animal Interpreters here at the Minnesota Zoo, and we have with us Aspen. So we're going to let our interpreters kind of give you a little overview of one of the important animals at the zoo.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Alexandria Tassa, one of the Ambassador Animal staff members, along with Jen here. And this is the star of the show right here. This is Aspen. She is a North American porcupine, so a Minnesota native here. And when you can see up at our treetop trail, you get to meet her every day. We have demos for our guests that come to visit us. And she is quite the hit, as you can see. She's really captivating here. Now let's just clear the air here. She cannot shoot out her quills, which is why we're able to come here today. Those quills are a famous part of her hair, but she has 3 types of hair. Where we have just one, she's got 3. So these white ones that are sticking out here are actually her guard hairs. So think of them as like her whiskers and her feelers, since they're a nocturnal animal. Underneath there, where she deceivingly looks very fluffy, she has all that under fur. So think of it as like her built-in long underwear, keeps her nice and warm. And then underneath that are those famous quills. And there are 30,000 of them on her body. You'll notice she's kind of hunched over as she walks, and that's A-okay for a porcupine, totally natural. And that's because she has no quills on her underside right here. So she always wants to protect that unquilled side there. So right now she's pretty relaxed. That's her job at the zoo, is she was both hand-reared by staff so that she's very comfortable around people, so those quills are kind of relaxed. But if something were to come after her at the zoo, she's pretty safe. She doesn't have to worry about it. She can actually make those quills stand straight up. When they're in this position, they can easily be detached if something actually has to make contact with them. So those cartoons are fun that we watch as children, but totally we're going to myth bust that. She can't shoot out those quills at all. Sure, they'll fall out if she shakes, and she might do a little shake today, just like dogs or cattle, and sometimes those quills might fall out. But she cannot shoot them, and why she makes such a great ambassador. And also one of the animals, of all the thousands of animals that live at the zoo, that really depends on our animal health building, which we're going to be talking about today. We work very closely with our vet team all the time, monitoring her, making sure she's healthy, not only with her diet, her nutrition, her behavior, and also when we want to try to breed a North American porcupine. So we need all of those updated facilities to help us to do that, so we can continue having amazing animals like this here at the zoo. Now her name is Aspen because, you know, it's one of the trees you'd find them in here in Minnesota, and actually one of her favorite types of food that she will get when she browses up on leaves. They're naturally a browser, so she is a complete herbivore. Likes to eat nature's buffet of whatever she can find up in the trees, leaves, inner bark there that they'll chew on. They have these amazing teeth. Did you know this is the 2nd largest rodent in Minnesota, just behind another animal we have at the zoo, the beaver. So this is a really large one. She's weighed in just under about probably 20 pounds, which is a good size for her, but you'll find a whole variety of porcupines in different sizes, just like humans come in different sizes too. But this is a good size for her as well, and been a really fun animal for our guests to meet. Look at that. This is her station at her table, right? So we try to keep our communication really clear with our animals when we are working with them, so that they know what the expectation is and why she's done so good in a whole new habitat here today at the Capitol to meet you committee members. So we'll open it up and take a couple of questions about Aspen. If there's something you'd like to ask about her, we're happy to share that with you. And she is naturally, if you're wondering, how is she doing this table here? They're naturally arboreal, so they spend their time in trees. So she knows what the edges here of the table are, and that's how we can get her to just kind of gently mosey and walk along here. You'll notice as I handed her her food, she's using those claws. Those claws are amazing adaptations. They are not sharp, but they're extremely strong, and they help her to climb. They are not nimble climbers like you'd see like squirrels in trees. They actually rely on their sheer muscle strength and those claws as they navigate. And then that famous tail down here is more like a paddle that they use, much more like you would for like a nuthatch or woodpeckers as they climb. So she can climb straight up trees. Isn't that amazing? And go straight down trees. So completely made for our Minnesota habitats. All right, any questions that you're wondering about Aspen? Yes, thank you.
I think Representative Carroll was up first.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, Co-Chair, whatever. Chair, some sort of chair. I think you already answered it, but they're not, the quills are not poisonous, correct?
You are correct. The quills are not poisonous. So they, is this on? Pick it up? Okay. They are pointy. They can be very irritating when they go in. They only go in one way, and they do not work themselves out that way. So they've got to usually because when they go in, it can be devastating to other animals. So other animals learn very quickly, I smell an animal like this or see an animal like this, stay away. You know, and it's a great way to protect themselves. They're a little barbed all around the whole tips of those quills there.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Representative Scraba.
Thank you, Chair. Frederick, what's its natural enemy?
There are a couple when they're younger. Sometimes our larger cats, like a bobcat perhaps, puma, and or even great horned owls, when they can sneak up on them. When they're small little porcupines, they can just be about this big. They're really, really tiny. However, when they get this fully sized grown, they don't really have very many, which is great because as you can tell, she's not really fast. I can't really escape very quickly. So we also have that animal at the zoo, a fisher. So the fisher, a Minnesota native animal, also is one that has been able to figure out a way to hunt after these animals and get to that soft undertummy without getting quilled. So very good. Somebody's got to eat porcupines, and the fisher can do it effectively. But no worries, their population numbers are A-okay here in Minnesota. Yes, exactly, those trends. Great question. Any other questions about this amazing animal here?
I think we can continue with the presentation.
All right, great.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So we'll get her traded up here. We'll see how she's really enjoying her time out. But you'll see how she's been trained to self-crate, which also helps us when we're taking her around the zoo and other places where she has that choice of deciding. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Al. Co-chairs, committee members, I'll go on with the presentation while they load up Aspen here. We're used to working around animals. Just a reminder about your Minnesota Zoo. It's a state zoo, has an economic engine that drives over $320 million of annual impact in the state. The Minnesota Zoo is a beloved zoo. It's Minnesota's top year-round gated attraction, reaching between 1.4 and 1.5 million visitors per year. So people are using the zoo more than ever. We are a unique state agency as we get about 1/3 of our funding from the state. 2/3 we have to have a strong business plan, with revenue and food and events. So we're very proud of the business plan and how we run the zoo. We are the largest, or one of the largest environmental destination educators in Minnesota, reaching almost 100,000 students from over 1,000 schools. We have programs that reach underserved communities called Free to Explore. So if you qualify for general assistance in the state of Minnesota, you come to the zoo for free. That program's growing up to over 130,000 people per year are coming to our Free to Explore program, and from all 87 counties. We do zip codes, so we record that. And then we have an amazing reputation. We're an AZA accredited facility, but we are known throughout the country for our conservation education and just overall large experience. We're the 5th largest zoo in the country. With that said, as a director, I hear a lot of times people still refer to the zoo as the new zoo. That's really what was tagged when it was built 50 years ago. But we are 50 years old. We're going to be 50. The facilities are in 50-year condition. This is new to me, but I was just recently learned about this graph. But we're among the worst facilities of all ratings of all state agencies. So that 50-year-old zoo is really starting to show its wear and tear. 1/3 of the 125 structures are in poor or crisis condition. We have over $78 million of backlog, continues to grow. So obviously this is elevating the risk to our visitors, our staff, and our animals. Unfortunately, it's hard to show this slide, but all of this has impact. And our kinds of jobs, we're 24/7, 365, through all temperatures, outside, inside, when you run a place that has life support for animals and life support for people. but the zoo has one of the worst or the worst incident rate for safety and incidences, and most of them are within our animal care department, which is a lot of people working outside through all types of weather with aging infrastructure. With that said, we are in the governor's recommendation at $4 million. We are very appreciate that and deeply appreciate that $4 million. Those dollars will be used, obviously, for critical needs, specifically around life support systems, which there's a few photos of failed systems that are happening on a pretty regular basis at the zoo. So that's, we do appreciate the governor's recommendation. There is another request that we're asking the committee to consider. A lot of you, I want to thank a lot of everybody. One of the biggest projects we have at the zoo right now and have had for the last few years is to build a new animal hospital, exotic species hospital for Minnesota based at the zoo. We had a request last year that was about 17 million was our request. We were very thankful that we received 11 million last year towards that hospital. We were also raised over $12 million privately for that animal hospital, but it was $6 million short. We spent the last year trying to work with the dollars we had, work with our private money, work with the bonding we received, but we were unable to build a standalone hospital with that. So we come back today, we've pivoted. We can't afford to build a new hospital that's standalone, but our old hospital, which is called A Building, it was the first building built on campus. Now our approach is we will build a new wing to that A Building hospital. So we will have a new piece of the hospital. But to make this approach work, we need to restore that old hospital specifically for staff needs. So that is what our $6 million request is asset preservation for the very first building at the zoo to overall complete this project. To go into a little more detail, we have a head of our animal health programs, Dr. Rivas.
Thank you. Because of the urgent need for a new hospital, we are building the new facility on a smaller footprint, as John indicated, and attaching it to the existing animal hospital in A Building, which some of you may have had the opportunity to tour. This new hospital will accommodate the essential medical functions, but not include space for staff offices, storage, most of our animal holding, or administrative functions. A Building, our oldest building on campus at over 50 years old at this point, must be renovated to support these critical hospital and staffing needs. The $6 million in asset preservation is urgently needed to fund the renovation of A Building's envelope systems, workspaces to remove asbestos, meet code requirements, improve overall safety of the facilities as they stand, and serve the zoo's needs going forward. Without this renovation, the state's investment in the new animal hospital cannot operate as intended or meet the goals that we've outlined. And the zoo cannot provide the level of care for our animals that require or meet industry standards. And just on a bit of a personal note, completing this A Building renovation is not optional. It's essential to ensuring the purpose of the new hospital, but also safety for our staff and animals. I live this every day with my team. It is a really tough environment to be in. We have a lot of risk that we take given the nature of our job, and we do have injuries because our facilities are not up to standard. One of my lead vet nurses had a fall that injured his back and wrist last week during a large animal necropsy or animal autopsy, just trying to manipulate the animal in our older facilities. And on Monday this week, I was actually kicked in the head during a large animal surgery in our own barn because we don't have a lot of the safety facilities established. And 50 years ago, it was fine to kind of cowboy up and do things, but anymore, it's just not how we should be expecting our professionals to be operating.
So co-chairs, committee members, just to recap, we do appreciate the governor's recommendation of the $4 million. We'll use it wisely if received. And then we are requesting additional $6 million to complete that big animal health project. Co-chairs, committee members, open for questions.
Just want to thank you for the presentation today. I don't have anyone. Representative Carroll.
Thank you for your presentation. You have an amazing facility. I always enjoy going there, and so thank you for that. So let's talk about your incidents. What do you mean by that?
Yeah,
And does it affect the public?
co-chairs, committee members, thank you for that question. 50-year-old campus, out, like I said, 365, 24/7. When we have incidents at the Minnesota Zoo, we obviously do full investigations of those incidents, and we come down to root causes.
Can you define what an incident means?
It could be
Dr. Frawley.
a close call with one of our carnivore tigers, which just recently happened, where a tiger was able to reach 6 inches further through a wall that had chain link next to it. Under the investigation, what we found was over the last 50 years, that fencing pulled away an extra inch from that cement wall. And just that inch alone allowed the tiger to reach a little bit further through. So it was a close call. We repaired that. We've inspected all of it. It could mean keepers hurting themselves, lack of lighting, lack of ramps, lack of lifts, lacks of animal chutes. All of our animals have to be preventative care. We're doing this right now without the proper modern equipment. We're doing it with old school ways. Those are when the accidents are happening. We do have, this combined with, staffing needs as well. That's not this committee, but another committee. That's what's driving our incident rates. And I think on top of it all is just the nature of the business, the fact that we're doing things 24/7, 365 in all kinds of conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Chair Lee.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Director. So just to be clear, with the 11 million, you said you went forward with the project, and so it's no longer at the entrance of the zoo as in previous rendering, and now it's next to the hospital that we have visited in the past?
Director Frawley.
Co-chairs, committee members, that's correct. We originally envisioned a standalone new facility that had everything we hoped to have in the hospital. But 6 million, we did work for about a year since we last met to try to see if that could work, and we tried to fulfill that original vision. But the square footage cost and the cost of construction and the rising cost of everything is now pivoting us back to a wing of our old hospital. The good news is the new wing will house all the medical suites, all the modern equipment, all the, those types of things will be brand new. We'll use a building, what we want to hope to renovate, for staff spaces, for meeting spaces. Those are the things what we're being cut out of the standalone building. So, and so we think it'll work fine, but we're going to have to renovate that A building. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the presentation. Thank you again for hosting us last year.